Hello and thank you, gentlemen. Joe, it is time to spend another day with me. Your favorite thing in the world is we commentate Cold War, and I feel underdressed. I did not know that people were going to have ties on and blazers. You're in a sweater. Oh, most of these events we just been wearing like gaming gear. Seems to fit your playstyle quite a bit, but I know we are ready to map probably match. Rambo, you got to play in that. That was the first time I was definitely hearing my audio double. I a lot. I guess I'm curious.
No, I think that was through the stream that we're watching, but yeah, we're on the Moscow Hardpoint. This was one of the maps that I was talking about, where it feels like, spawns are so important. If you spawn out, you're probably going to give up 30 to 45 seconds. So
we're good now. That was a lot for my brain. That was a lot for my brain. Okay,
you are my guinea pig right now.
Yeah. Dude, when you're hearing a double, it's crazy.
Oh yeah, I instantly muted. I was like, maybe he'll figure it out. He'll tell me when.
But we'll get right into it. Yeah, Moscow has been one of the favorites for sure. I think this reminds you of old school COD in a big way. If we can, whoever's handling the Codcaster, if we could get the mini map turned on bottom left. I'm not sure if you're on controller or mouse and keyboard or what that is. There we go. Thank you. Appreciate that. So we'll take a look at our second hard point. And yeah, I saw someone joking yesterday. It might have been Mochilla or somebody that said like every point kind of feels like Hackney P2 right now. And I mean, I don't know if I agree with that sentiment. It's just like you need to rotate and you need to be in good position. It's just how COD used to be played.
Yeah, no, that is a horrible take. But I think really what he means is if you do rotate early, it's really hard to lose that time. But similar to what we just watched, we seen Team Gunjar. They break through the front, and this is what you want to do. They get enough kills, they use their smokes, they use their tactiles to put pressure on it. They break up that early setup, and now for Team Vance, they're going to have to go all the way across the map. It is a very far rotation, but for Team Gunjar, you did your job. And just so everybody knows, it's Codcaster. The colors are going to be flipped with the arrows. I think it's something to do with Hardpoint. So Team Gunjar, they will be the blue arrows, where Team Vance will be the purple ones. So you'll have to get used to that.
You know what's interesting? We didn't run into that at all yesterday.
I wonder if
if it has to do with we were using default colors. I don't think we did custom colors. So if whoever's handling observing, that might be the thing. When you put in the custom colors, it flips it. So try default next time and see if it's fine. But we didn't
all learning.
Yeah, but I don't think we had that yesterday though that I noticed. So
yeah, it could be that, or like maybe if you don't do CDL hardpoint. I know that was like some people's option. I don't know exactly that. But back into the game, Team Gunjar, they lose the back spawns, but they've been able to hold the hill. Just Team Vance hasn't been able to get to it. Dylan. 0-7 start, finally gets his first kill on the board. And that's going to happen sometimes where it just feels like you're constantly sprinting, people set up, and then you just sort of go on this death spree. And that's kind of old school boots on the ground Call of Duty at times. It just feels like you can't get into a rhythm going. But with a nice setup right here by Team Vance, maybe Dylan will be much happier.
Yeah, run across the map once, die, run across the map once, die, and then next thing you know, you have to rotate to the next hard point. It can be tough for sure, but yeah, we'll see if he can get going behind the early hold. But I think you're going to see a lot of swings in the KD department for sure, just based on being able to hold or being forced to try and break. But Exotic with some nice shots there, able to take down Kleenex. Pretty tight game though, just 13 points separating these two sides. Gunjar leading the way on one end, Kleenex going off on the other side of things. And we saw, I think the first time where you and I were like, oh man, Hardpoint is going to be fun this year. I don't know what just changed, but my quality has got infinitely better. So thank you for that. For the actual gameplay, I just got really good. Okay, I love this.
It did. Yeah, it did. So what were you saying? You were talking about something, and then you just talked about that.
Well, no, I just saw a shift. I just saw a shift. Like I was having trouble reading the numbers. And I was like, oh, this looks really good now. But you and I were casting. It was like, what was it, Tommy versus Rated, or one of the matchups that we saw in Moscow Hardpoint. Even though it was 5v5, it was a crazy close game, some breakthrough streaks, and you and I were just like, we're in for a good year. I want more of this.
Yeah, there's going to be big swings, and obviously score streaks will come into play. That'll really be in. It's tough to do, and you and I were talking, I think, when we were casting that match, of how important it is to go on those streaks, and then when you're on those streaks, to stay alive, because that's when you really start to earn those extra points. As Dylan fights his way in, Well, Dylan, he's going to get this time, but you do see Team Gunjar. They're controlling the side of the map that you want to. That's Goon, who's backing all the way up that #1 arrow. And they're going to have to try and push this. But Team Bance right now, they're going to take the lead. They make a bit of a comeback, but now it's going to be Team Gunjar's opportunity to really take that lead with this second hill. Maven, I think you muted yourself. You did. You muted yourself. There you go, because you have a hotkey.
Yes, I do. I was definitely typing in the chat and forgot about my hotkey. Okay, but I was saying Gunjar was at #1 of that top window, one of the tougher spots to break on the rotation. But they're able to get through. They actually find 3 kills. Team Bance getting in. Still getting one more safe spawn is going to be Team Gunjar, so they'll get another crack at this with just under 40 seconds remaining. We'll see if Kleenex and company can hold on. They've got the good lines of sight. They're able to take down 1. 2 will fall at the same time. And with 30 seconds left, honestly, it's probably time to start worrying about the rotation and X. So you'll see what Shawnee and I think Kleenex pop on the other side. I actually thought they were going to opt to rotate. Kleenex still takes another stab at it.
Yeah, I think they know that they're going to spawn on the opposite side. So you have Shawnee who's pushing up a little bit. But that was a good job. Now, Clint, that was already 2 breaks through the front of the hill. So I think we saw 2 breaks on the second hill of Hack the Yard all year. We saw 2 this map already. So just to contradict that theory, we've already seen more breaks in this map than what we saw on Hack the Yard second hill the entire year. So just want to point that out there.
I'll let Mochilla know, and I appreciate that expertise and breakdown from you, Joe. You are sensational at what you do. But Gunjar and Brack are still racking up the kills. It's 3 in a row now for Goon as he's 16 and 10. But Shawnee's POV is they try to hold on to this for as much time as they can. They swap over to Kleenex for just a moment. He's got eyes on that kind of top escalators push and able to hit the shots.
He's starting to get aggressive, and it looks like Bance is going to spawn out, and they're going to just go through the middle of the map. So it seems they're opting to rotate towards bust through middle side. Because it looks like Team Gunjar is going to go for a little bit of this time, but they have to focus on that bust hill. As Team Bance now up to 180 points. Nice shots by Gunjar, and we've been seeing this. Really, I mean, you're going to have an MP5 on a map like this, maybe a couple of FAMASs, and then usually a main AR. Either the Krieg, which I think we see Shawnee running. There's some other main ARs who are running that AK-47. Just those long-range gunfights where you can get set up in those strong positions, really just hold down the lane. But yeah, already a good amount of gun varieties so far.
Yeah, you love to see it early in titles, but those are the 2 guns I've seen probably the most complaints about from pros is the FFAR and the MP5, but it's still early. There's going to be some tweaks for now. Enjoy them. They're fun to run, and you can hit shots at, well, any range with basically both of them, but Proto trying to finesse his life for now is hold this mid-street, and this is a point where, you think would be pretty contest heavy, but at least in our experience so far, you can rack up a ton of time on this street, especially when you have the opposite spawns. You can get to a lot of good positions in the bust in the back. Not an easy kill there at all, but Team Bance now up over the 200-point mark, but still one that looks to be going down to the wire. Brack now on 5 in a row.
Yeah, this is going to be one of those situations. Vance actually just won a big one-on-one versus Brack, who that should be able. No, you're going to see there's more pressure. So right now, I mean, Team Bance obviously getting this early time, but what also will set them up is they have the spawns for the second hill. So you're going to have to do 2 things at once. We talk about that a lot, how difficult that is to do on Hardpoint. You're only 35 seconds away from winning this map #1 if you are Team Bance. So Brack behind that smoke going to try and get aggressive. Dylan, though, with some beautiful shots. He pulls out that FAMAS. He says, you know what? I'm going to pull this weapon out. He's got 2 of them now. The one good thing for Team Gunjar is they did flip the spawns, but they have to contest this to continue this game going.
We'll see if they can do just that. As they look to get the remaining time, if they can hold the spawns, Team Gunjar are going to be in a decent spot. They get the final 10 seconds. They can't win the game with next. They can get darn close. Absolutely get a lead change and lock this down, but this is where we've seen all those breaks early on. Spawning out deep will be Team Bance. They're going to have to rally across and try to find the openings. We'll see if they can do it one more time. Gunjar once again gets into that power spot near the window. Proto will be watching low into the push from Eskies. 2 players going to be hitting that, 1 flanking from behind. He's able to pick that up. Now can he rally forward for the push from the front? He does it. The slide cancel in, but just not able to hit the shots. And all the points, at least for now, going the way of Team Gunjar.
Yeah, the big question is, can they win it here? It looks like they're going to be a few seconds off, so Team Bance is going to have to recognize that. They are going to contest this one more time. A nice smoke, and this is really what they've been doing. It's been Bance, it's been Kleenex through the front. They contest some time, and now it's all on the rotation. Who has an opportunity? Proto is going all the way around, number 3 on the mini-map. He's going through that store. Can he make a play? Did he find an opening? No, it looks like Kleenex was able to spot him. Shawnee's going to take him down. The next 2 up are going to be an Exotic and Brack. But they're going to have to go, and they're going to have to go soon. And you see where Proto spawns. He's going to be out of this last fight.
The one thing I'm not sure about, you guys weren't using streaks, I think, in the tournament yesterday. We've had a couple tournaments with streaks, a couple without. I don't think they're using them in this. Otherwise, we probably would have seen them come into play. Because I was going to say, they might have some key streaks for the break, but they don't. Bance's team holding on. There's the 250 mark, and Bance will take the hard point. But just a 15-point game. Fun to watch. A bunch of big breaks. A lot of crazy individual plays, and map 1 is in the books.
Yeah, I think for Team Bance, it was just, 2 times over at that second hill that they were able to really break on through towards the front. I think Team Goonjar had the opportunity probably to win the game there throughout those first couple of rotations, but they don't. And Team Bance, behind great plays from all 4 of them, are going to take map 1, as you said. So we're doing best of 3s, correct? I believe.
Yeah.
Okay.